Hi, I'm Marvin from Askademic. Say, tell, speak, talk. How can you use them correctly? Well, today we're going to talk about it. What did you say? I didn't tell you that. You're speaking too quietly. Okay, let's talk about it. Can you accurately use say, tell, speak, and talk? Well, today I hope that by the end of this lesson, you'll feel more comfortable about how to accurately use them in daily conversation. The first pair that we're going to talk about is say and tell. Let's start with say. Say is often used for reported speech. This means that you can imagine that you're a reporter, you're a journalist, and you're telling someone what happened, what something else said. Breaking news, Amy said to study English every day. Here you saw the reporter reporting to you using reported speech, and she used the word said. Amy said to study every day. By the way, that's a great advice. Study every day. But previously, Amy said something else. She said study every day, and the reporter is reporting that. So you might use this in other situations as well. You might say to your mom at the end of a long school day, my teacher said a lot about the Revolutionary War, but I didn't understand any of it. So you're reporting to your mom what your teacher said. My teacher said a lot about the Revolutionary War, but I was too tired and I was sleeping. So you're reporting the speech. But what if you want to add a person? Who is Amy talking to? Who is the teacher talking to? Well, you're going to add the word to. Amy said to her students to study every day. The teacher said to me to go to the office. The teacher said to someone. Amy said to someone. It's not as often used to use this construction, but if you want to use said plus a person, you need to add to. Amy said to study every day, or Amy said to her students to study every day. The next one is the word tell, or in the past tense, it is told. This is an irregular verb. I tell you, I told you. And you see here, even in these quick examples, that you're talking to someone directly, so you're gonna almost always have a person or maybe an organization, the person that you're talking to directly after the word tell. We use tell when we're speaking directly to someone. So let's take a look at a quick example. Imagine that you're a reporter again and you're saying, breaking news. Amy told her students to study English every day. You saw the reporter say, Amy told her students to study every day. Who did Amy talk to? Her students. So here we have that person, the one who she is directing her conversation at. We have it directly after the word tell. Amy told her students to study every day. She told them that daily practice is important. Her students told her, thanks, that really works. Do you see in all of these examples we have that person directly after tell? Amy told her students. She told them. They told her. Beautiful. Now remember a moment ago we said that you can say Amy said to her students, but it's not used as much, so I recommend if you want to talk about the person who you're talking to, use the word tell. The teacher told the students to study. Amy told me that I'm doing a great job. Let's go on to the next pair. The next two words are speak and talk. Okay, the general feeling of the word speak, or in the past tense it is spoke. This is also an irregular verb, This has the feeling of something formal, maybe distant, and it almost feels like you're above, looking down. So maybe you're the boss, you're the parent, looking down. So when you use speak, it needs to be in this formal, maybe even as an authority. Let's take a look at a couple examples. You might say, I spoke to my sister about her puppy, or I talked to my sister about her puppy. When you say, I spoke to my sister about her puppy, it kind of feels like you had an organized meeting, you had a PowerPoint presentation, and you were presenting to her. It was very formal, it's distant, you're almost looking down as you're speaking with her. I spoke to my sister. And when you're talking about a puppy, that's not the situation, right? So you can use talk, because it's much more natural than just daily conversation. I talked to my sister about her puppy. Great. You might say the manager spoke with the client, or the manager talked with the client. Because there is a manager who is an authority and he is talking with a client who is not the authority, it's perfectly fine to say the manager spoke with the client, but it does have the feeling of formality, of something distant. And if you want to convey that you had a friendly conversation, you're building your relationship, you're more on equal terms, you might want to say the manager talked with the client. So it just depends what you're feeling and what you want to convey. You could say we spoke about our vacation, or we talked about our vacation. You can kind of imagine maybe a big speech and you're speaking about your vacation to all of the college and university graduates, and they're listening to you. But here it's something formal, it's distant, you're kind of looking down at them. So if you want to talk about a familiar situation, you might say, we talked about our vacation. If you're just going to a coffee shop and having a conversation with your friend, this is exactly what you're going to use. We talked about our vacation. You just saw me use several expressions: talk to, talk with, talk about, speak to, speak with, speak about. Great, we've got a lot of different options, and remember, speak is going to be a little bit formal or distant, and talk is going to be more relational, more conversational. Before we go on to the final part of this lesson, I want to let you know that there are some important situations that you might want to be careful about with the word speak and talk. The first situation is if you say we need to speak or we need to talk, both of these sentences feel a little bit scary. If someone says to you, hey, we need to talk, are you busy right now? If someone said that to me, I would be a little bit scared. What's wrong? What did I do? So if you use we need to talk or even we need to speak, make sure that you want the other person to feel a little bit uncomfortable, because they definitely will. We need to speak. Why? If your boss said that to you, excuse me, we need to speak, please come to my office, that's really bad news. You might be fired. So make sure that if you use we need to speak or we need to talk, either of these expressions, make sure that they're for very serious situations and usually when there's some kind of problem. The second situation that you need to be careful about is when you're talking about languages. We usually use speak to talk about the languages that you know how to speak. I speak English. I speak French. I don't speak Japanese. If you want to use talk, you need to say, we talked in English in the meeting. We talked in Japanese in the meeting. Talked in French in a meeting. Make sure that you use that sentence structure, talked in plus the language. You can't say, we talked English. We talked Spanish. Now that's not going to sound natural at all. So make sure that you say, I speak English and I speak 10 other languages. Wow, that's amazing. So make sure that you use this correctly. Now I have a question for you. What's something that your mom used to say when you were younger? Let me give you two quick examples. You might say, she always said to clean up my room. She always said to clean up my room. Said to clean up my room. This is reporting what your mom used to say. Or you could say, she always told me to clean up my room. You're adding the person directly after tell. She always told me to clean up my room. Okay, now it's your turn. I hope you can use these accurately and I hope this lesson helped. Thank you for watching all of my videos and I'll see you in the next course. Bye!